This section of the Constitution, that is the Maryland Constitution of 1776, remember, is a Declaration of Rights. So just saying, we declare that these are people's rights. And the fifth right declared is that the right of the people to participate in government is the best security of liberty and the foundation of all free government. For this purpose, elections ought to be free and frequent, and every man, having property in, a common interest with, and an attachment to the community, ought to have a right of suffrage. Suffrage is the vote. Okay, elections are critical for liberty and freedom. Elections should be often, and they should be free. And then, who should be allowed to vote in them? People who own property. Not people, but every man who owns property. I often think that provision doesn't wrap up the way that I thought it was leading. Sixth, the three branches of government should be separate and distinct from one another. The legislative, executive, and judicial branches have to be separate. You can't, for example, have an executive who's telling the judicial branch what to do and having a legislative branch that's willing to let the executive do whatever they want. Seventh, you can't suspend laws, dude. There, that's my summary of number 7. 8, freedom of speech. 9, government has to meet at the same place. The legislature has to convene regularly at the same place. Skipping ahead. Remember, the numbers over here are the Roman numeral provisions from the Maryland Constitution. And in this section, if you know a little bit about the United States Constitution that you currently live under and the Bill of Rights included in that Constitution, then you'll notice that some of this will feel familiar. But remember, everything here in this Maryland Constitution of 1776 was developed before there was a U.S. Constitution or a Bill of Rights. 19. 19. When on trial, you have to be informed of the crime, you have to be allowed access to a lawyer, you get to confront the witnesses against you, and you get to call your own witnesses. And you get a speedy trial by an impartial jury. I don't want to spoil it, but that is the essence of the Sixth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. In a way, you shouldn't write that down because nobody at the time would know what I was talking about. Okay, so that's 19. Your rights when you're on trial. 20. You can't be forced to testify against yourself. You can't be forced to testify against yourself. That's why you can say, I don't want to testify in your own trial. 21, your life, liberty, or property can only be taken by the government after due process of law. Or as it has it here, by the judgment of his peers or by the law of the land. 22, excessive bail, excessive fines, and cruel and unusual punishments are forbidden. That, I can't help it. I can't help it. That later becomes the Eighth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. But here it is, years earlier, in the Maryland Constitution of 76. 23. Warrants. The government needs a warrant, a specific warrant describing places, person, and things. They can't just come search your stuff. Um, 24. The government shouldn't be allowed to take your estate except for murder or treason. 25. A well-regulated militia is necessary for the defense of a free government. That is half of what later becomes the Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. 26. Standing armies are dangerous to liberty. So if you're not at war, don't leave an army hanging around. 27. The military ought to be under the strict control of the elected government, the civil power, as the text has it. 28. Soldiers can't be sent to stay in your house. As I think we mentioned briefly, this was one of the things that the British Parliament had explicitly allowed in the Intolerable Acts, that soldiers could quarter in your house. And this forbids that in Maryland. 32. Remember, if you think, man, this is going on forever, I can't believe we're doing all these Roman numeral provisions. We're not. I skipped so many for you. 32. You can't hold two offices at once. And 33, a biggie. They disestablished the Anglican Church. In the highlighted text you see there, nor ought any person be compelled to frequent or maintain or contribute, unless on contract, to maintain any particular place of worship or any particular ministry. So, the Anglican Church is no longer going to be the official religion. Do note, however, that that is followed by a provision that says that the legislature may, if they decide to, create a general tax for the support of the Christian religion, and that that money would then go to all Christian churches in Maryland. "35. To hold office in Maryland, you have to declare a belief in the Christian religion. That means that Catholics are cool. So are Quakers. Now, atheists, Jews, Muslims, not cool. Under this Constitution, because to hold office, you have to declare your belief in the Christian religion. 36 carves out a specific provision for those Christian sects who won't swear. The Quakers, we've talked about the most. Other groups like the Dunkers and the Mennonites. As had been Maryland's tradition for much of its history, they would be allowed to solemnly affirm rather than having to swear. So, Quakers are back in, Catholics are back in, all Christians are back in. But if you're not a Christian, well, this is not for you. I mean, You can be here, but you can't ever help run the place. Let's go to here. The Constitution also addressed a problem that had been building quickly for the last several years, which was the rapid growth of Frederick County. So Frederick County, which remember stretched from Prince George's County all the way out to Maryland's west, Frederick County was now split into Washington County, and then Frederick, and then Montgomery County. So western Frederick County became Washington, lower Frederick County became Montgomery County. And notice that these two new counties are named for heroes of the moment. George Washington, the guy commanding our Continental Army, and Richard Montgomery, who died in the Battle of Quebec, the first American military leader to die in this war. So Montgomery County becomes a thing in 1776. And now those folks like Thomas Sprigg Wooten can say, I'm not from Lower Frederick County. I'm about to be from Montgomery County, y'all. That was a quote from Thomas Sprigg Wooten. I just wanted to show you quickly the Montgomery County hundreds. Remember that each county gets split up into hundreds for tax purposes and election organization. And I guess I find it interesting how some of the Maryland hundreds from hundreds of years ago persist as neighborhood names. Rock Creek, Upper Potomac, Sugarloaf. Okay, next, we're going to talk about a couple things that were proposed in committee at the convention, made it to full votes, and then got defeated. So these are two things that might have been, but were not to be. The first was a committee that voted, and as far as I can tell, the committee held 7 slaveholders, 7 Maryland slaveholders, and they passed 7-0 this provision that you see here, which would have said, had the full convention voted for it, that no person hereafter imported into this state from Africa or any part of the British dominions ought to be held in slavery under any pretense whatever. Whoa! And that no Negro or mulatto slave ought to be brought into this state for sale from any part of the world. That is proposing that any person brought into Maryland would be free upon their arrival. Think of how dramatically this would change things. It shows you this spirit of liberty that was in the air at the time. It came out of committee, was voted on by the full convention, and was defeated. Another proposal that was passed by committee, made it to the full convention, was a proposal from Thomas Sprigg Wooten. Wooten, the Montgomery County doctor, Hungerford resolves, Wooten proposed the right to vote for every man in Maryland, regardless of wealth and, notably, regardless of race or color. All free men would have the right to vote under Wooten's proposal. It was supported by the somewhat more democratic Charles Ridgely. But this one too, defeated by the full committee. Sorry, by the full convention. This more democratic idea defeated, the final document wound up much more as creating a government for the rich. Government by the rich, and then they'll decide if it'll be for the rich. But I'm going to guess yes.